While this is a toy truck and construction show, we do have this really unique setup here of versatile and Twin Cities tractors and trucks. And these are all 100% handmade by Paul Henry. And he's only sold one ever. It is like this one, and it sold for $1,100 yesterday. This Twin Cities truck. He handmade everything. I mean, look, all the detail right to the engines. These are impressive models. I'm Logan, and I was at the 2024 National Toy Truck and Construction Show in Indianapolis to promote my brand, Advantage Diecast, and happened to see the beautiful display and got the chance to get the builder of these impressive 1/16th scale models to talk to you guys about them. Also, I've got another video coming about the Toy Truck and Construction Show and a video about the show truck model, the Magony single axle Pete with hay flats. So subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss it. Now, smash the like button and let's get Paul to talk about his models.
It's Paul Henry, and I'm from Moorhead, Minnesota. And I've been wanting to do all this stuff since I was a kid, or trying to. This is the first tractor that I made, this 300. And I found the real tractor, took the measurements and pictures, and started building in about 1985. And then we moved to a townhome, and I didn't work on it for 15 years. So I call this the tractors 30 years ago I started. So
kept putting a box and set aside, right?
Yeah, and we moved, and I didn't work on it for 15 years, and then my wife passed away in 16, and I got out the box and put it all together, and this is I built since then. So but there's stories behind each one of these series. We'll turn over here and go to the Twin City. This truck up here, I started this half-ton truck from a picture that my friend had sent me, and he found this truck in 1985 and acquired it in 87, or finished it in 87 at Lemon, South Dakota, in a swamp.
A swamp?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
And he got it home. They traded for a trader in Billings, or in Montana. They traded for it. I have no idea what it was, but they exchanged it. And he got it home, but the frame had been cut off 3 feet. And he had to rebuild a whole new frame for it. But they tore the engine apart, and it looked like it was hardly driven. So he rebuilt it and finished it in 87 and brought it to Rollins, Minnesota for a show, a steam thresher show. I went down to look at it, and I thought it was pretty neat. And years later I thought, well, shoot, that's a nice one to make a model of. So
Yeah,
I
that is a nice model.
Asked him, and he said, yeah, it was okay with him to make one. And he sent me all the material from the Minnesota Historical Society that they sent him to build that truck. 1919. Actually, I think it's a 23, but it's the same truck.
Yeah.
And he got it built, and I built my toy without seeing that one for 20-some years. So I finally built it, and then we delivered it to him in May of 2022, and he finished it in 87.
87. So he finally got a model of his real one.
This is a picture, I don't know if I'll want it, of myself over there and him there, and this is he brought it out in 22.
His truck.
And
wow.
The picture looks the same as the colors. I picked the colors without even seeing it again. And it came out close.
Came out close, wow. And then there's the model.
There's the one I sent him.
Wow. That's awesome.
So this one up here on the shelf is the first one I made. So it's 1 of 3.
1 of 3.
And the one he has is 2 of 3. And I just sent one through the auction here is 3 of 3.
So that's what happened to the third one.
That's the third one. So the wheels are made from PVC pipe. 1.5 inches, cut in about 5/16 width strips, drilled with 14 holes around evenly, and used bamboo skewers 1/8 inch, driven through a hole in the middle to make them all the same.
For the spike.
For the and for
The spokes.
And the centers are coaxial cable connectors.
Really?
Screw them together. I got nuts on the outside. And then the tires.
Yeah.
The tires are from a rubber gasket off of a Chrysler truck or a Dodge truck
the gasket.
thermostat, which is about yay thick, so you could get 2 tires out of each one, and it just fits that rim.
Just fits it. Wow.
And the motor is made from acrylic.
Motor's made out of acrylic.
Yeah.
So you cast it and pour it.
No, it's made from this 1/4 inch acrylic like this.
You cut
it and then you super glue it together for the width of the motor.
Yeah.
Use
And then you
Dremel
carve the
tool to
size.
finish it.
Yeah.
And the radiators, the top of the radiators. Can you see the writing on it?
Yeah.
I made a cast or prototype or mold for that. All these trucks and these tractors have the same radiator top.
Okay.
So they'll cast with JB Weld.
Cast out of JB Weld.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And, there's another interesting story about this truck. You see this light? It's a acetylene light. Big,
On the
like
headlight?
The headlight. And it's run off acetylene.
Uh-huh.
The side little things are kerosene lights.
Kerosene lamps.
Burn off of kerosene. But the story I heard from history that they wouldn't, some towns, small towns wouldn't allow that truck to drive into town at night with that light on because it'd be so bright, and then with acetylene it'd make a hissing noise and it'd scare the horses. So it was against the law to drive. I didn't know that. That's interesting, but
I
it's
can believe that. There's some weird, quirky laws out there.
Yeah, and of course they didn't have anything else. At that time, you could buy this truck with little accessories because the money was tight back then.
Oh, yeah.
No generator, no starter, of course no lights.
No lights.
Or you could have a generator and lights and all that if you had the money.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of neat. And my buddy made it into a C-frame cab, which I kind of like the looks of.
Mm-hmm.
And they had curtains that rolled down with isinglass so they could see out the light anyway.
Yeah.
And keep out of the rain, I guess. What
Yeah,
else?
because you're basically still driving outside like a horse and wagon.
Yeah, right. So, and then this truck was also in that package. That's a 3.5 ton truck.
So it's a little bigger truck.
Bigger. And the wheels are real and they're cast. And these wheels are made from 3 sheets of aluminum super glued together, drilled out with a big hole, and then filed the rest of the time. It took 3 weeks to make those wheels.
You have a lot of patience.
Well, I learned to do that later on in life. I didn't earlier. And this tire back here is from a 2 1/8 inch radiator hose.
I can see
the
that.
cords.
Yep, I can see the cords in it.
And this tire up here is the same size as that 2 ton.
That's a 2-ton.
And that has a Buddha engine in it, 4-cylinder Buddha engine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this truck here, if I can get it out of here now. And this tractor is a 1220 Twin City. They're both the same engine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Twin City engine. And they started out building these with the 4 valves per cylinder and 2 cams back in 1919.
That engine was way ahead of its time.
Way ahead, and it cost too much to build, so they stopped building it. So they went back to the regular
2 valves and 1 cam.
I thought that was quite interesting. I didn't know that in 1919. Maybe they had it in race cars. I don't know, but
I don't know.
Then. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
And the tractors just came. I started digging into after everything else. I on the internet, and I found these tractors, so I started building. This is a 2744 here.
Yeah. Did Twin Cities eventually become Minneapolis
Yes,
Molding?
yes, that's part of the thing. Yeah. And I bought this sign from a guy in Monaga, Minnesota.
I like that sign. That is
It's
nice.
all metal, and he made all of these signs.
Versatiles too.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he made that one special for me, I guess.
I like that 145. That is nice. It's hard to think of a four-wheel drive with an open station.
I know. I never did like the older ones with the old cabs.
Yeah.
I like the newer ones, you know, and that's where I stopped with this. This whole line up right here is 1973 production. The 300, the 700, the 850, and the 900.
900 at the bottom. All 1973s.
Yeah, I got to get this 900 finished. I left the 850 undone because you can see all the parts I had to do.
Right. A lot of those parts just disappear when you get them all put together.
Yeah, you can't see them.
And then this one's scheduled for painting.
Yeah, I got to get a lot more detail finished, I think, on that one. It's been a long time since I worked on it. But I've been to Dyersville with this display, but I only had, I think, 4 tractors done. The 100 down on the bottom side,
Okay.
I didn't have that done. All I had was a piece of brass, a piece of aluminum sheeting, and a piece of metal. And I said, 100 coming soon. That's what I'm doing.
100 coming soon.
Yeah, so, and then this bi-directional is versatile.
That is a neat piece.
And I took that, basically a picture from the first line coming off the factory line. It's a little different. They changed some things about every few months they'd add
Oh,
something
yeah.
or change it. So this is one of the earliest ones. And
Versatile model years weren't just a year; they were a month.
yeah, right.
And they would tweak them.
And this will slide off like a real one. It'll slide off and the hose will disconnect.
Disconnect, and then you get a regular tractor.
And then you can put another attachment on. I'm thinking about making a swather attachment.
Oh, a swather would be really cool
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, and I haven't found the right material with the measurements and all, but I may have to just wing it with that.
Yeah,
So, and this
they
was
haven't
just
changed much.
this was just a
Just a display.
display and a thing of showing old and new parts all thrown together.
To make one.
It looked nice to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're all crawlers. This is a newer crawler.
Yeah.
So I bought it for the track. I needed a track for this one, so I
Mm-hmm.
bought a new one. And the track was the same.
And the track was the same.
So I bought this one later, next year, I think, and do some little accessory changes. I made the cab for that one a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So then what am I going to do with that one? I didn't know. So I decided to make a semi out
Make
of
a
it.
truck out of it. Yeah.
This is a 4-foot light assembly material, the metal out of it, all pounded straight.
All pounded straight.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's basically, you got the whole story, but there's more stories behind, I guess.
Of course.
And more to come.
And do you have anything else you'd like to build?
No, I think I'll stick with my 4-wheel drive tractor
Stick with them.
because I've got in mind some home built 4-wheel drives that I'm going to model.
There
I've got
are a
one
few of
made
them out
already.
there.
I've got, around where I live, in Fargo and Moorhead, there's within a short distance around there's 17
Nice.
of them. So I got a lot to pick with. And I think at Rolog they have about 10 there. Because
Mhm.
once they become 50 years old, they could be at that
At that show. Yeah.
So I've got to go down there and find some more, I guess. But I was fortunate to run across a guy that's managing one of those tractors. He's going to repaint it, and that's how I got close to
Get close
Fargo
to. Yep.
to go and take pictures and measurements. So I'll have some more done, and that's about it. As
That's
long
it.
as I can stay upright.
keep working at it.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you, Paul Henry, for talking about all of your great hand-built models. Remember, I've got a video on the show coming soon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.